All right.
Yeah.
So, welcome to the 300th episode of Granblue Radio. Uh, it's been 6 years of doing this thing. Um, it's a lot. It's a lot of years.
That's a lot of years.
Um, so we're going to be celebrating in a small way by doing a couple of like community-based articles for Granblue EN. We're going to be posting tomorrow night a an interview that Twitter followers submitted questions for, and we're going to answer them. And then also we're doing a Reddit Ask Me Anything on Reddit, the subreddit for Granblue_EN. So
Which is not owned by you.
we are not affiliated with them. So who are we kicking into a well to celebrate 300? I am not a Spartan. I'm sorry. We are we're
We all
paladins
past
now.
Spartans.
Yeah. I'm not putting on the Spartan costume again either. So anyway, this is Vibrating Sheep of Granblue EN, and with me.
It's DJ.
And for being a relatively quiet week in terms of some things, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So where do you want to start? We've got new characters, we've got slightly improved rerun rewards, and we've got the measures related to HTTPS.
Can I just rip off the band-aid now?
Which band-aid? The
Light's
characters?
broken.
Alright. So which character do you want to go to first? Because there's two new characters in Light, and they both changed the game.
Florence.
Alright. So, we had Flash Gala just recently, and we have a new character. A new version of an older character. We have
This is Halloween.
Halloween Florence. And if you haven't seen her before, if you just look at these skills on their own, you're like, oh, this is weird. And then, there are very specific things that make her mega broken. So,
So let's just go through the skills right now.
okay.
And then we talk about the interactions after we talk about Mugen.
Okay. So, we start off, she's a light staff character, sure, whatever. Doesn't really matter that much.
That's like a billion characters in Light.
Yeah. Her CA gives armor to allies, that's usually good,
70-30.
and an Aurora Crest just to herself.
This is her only way to generate Aurora Crest by herself.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, this game is not made in a vacuum.
Right. And so, we're going to talk about this in a little bit. But, alright, here's Mascara. It's a sharp boost to a light ally's attack. That ally loses 40% max HP. The cooldown is 4 turns, which is really low.
Yep. Your payoff is that you're losing HP for that you can have for the rest of the fight. Well, we'll talk about later, but this is not a cost.
This lasts a full turn. That's mega broken. Mostly because there are characters who attack out of turn. Like, if you were not allowed to use it on the MC, you would I guess Feather attacks the most times out of turn out of this in Light.
In Light, yes.
And so he can get off a good, 3 without any other help in attacks in a turn. And then she has Casa de Fantasmi, which is instant CA standby to a light ally, and also end cooldown for all of their skills.
Yeah, that part is Remember, the only way she can build a request by herself is her own CA.
But this game is not done in a vacuum, and so you can very easily build up her crests by putting on a sword for your main character, because you have your Dark Opus main hand, and no matter what you've done to your Opus,
it always
CA
has the crest.
Always gives a crest. And Relic Buster is allowed to wield a sword main hand, and it amplifies its autos when you have a sword and you have machine cells.
So when you have that added onto the, let's say, the assassin, is already on paper really good.
And so now so the definition of burst has changed because we now have even more of a like wide range to be considered one turn burst content. Because on her own, with a source of Aurora Crests and the main character as a Relic Buster, people are doing like Beelzebub with Keelan support, and what they'll do is uh, augment cells, Blitz Raid, Blitz Raid, Blitz Raid for 3 sets of triple attacks with many chasers. We'll get to where all these chasers come from later. Also, then she, with 5 Aurora Crests, hits that again, and so your MC gets all of their skills back, and you press Augment Cells, and you can press Blitz Raid, Blitz Raid, Blitz Raid. So, I said Feather can do this like 3 times in a turn. An MC with Relic Buster does this 6 times in a turn, before you hit the attack button.
Mm-hmm.
This was the choice of violence. And then, this last one is one of those hard content specials, right? She has the gravity, the local attack lowered, the DATA down, and the mischance, so that a lot of her skills don't have downsides. Like, well, you lose a lot of HP, but you're not gonna die for the next few turns because you're
Yeah,
playing
the attack down is cap max attack down at 50%,
hmm
and the DATA is 100% on both of them. And then just in case something else gets through, actually lowered.
Right. And then if somebody is red health, her passives say dark damage reduction effect to all allies, which
Uh, will you ever hit that?
yes, actually, I've seen a lot of that in videos because you still have to take turns in order to get certain things up. And then the thing is that remember when we said that light has extended the definition of one turn content? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Nightmare 150 has less health than this combo, I believe. Or no, at least Nightmare 100 has less health than this combo. Um, because you can do something like 270 million without hitting a attack with this combo right now.
I'm not looking forward to Guild Wars with light. I'll let
I
you know
am
that
I
now.
am just going to full auto and step away for 5 minutes like I did before.
Those people in the higher echelons, they can fight their fights. I am not dealing with that.
Yeah, I got my Unite and Fight hero like 5, 6 years ago, and I am not looking back. And then yeah, her other support skill is boost to crit based on number of Aurora Crests. What's the numbers at 5 Aurora Crests?
It's well for each of the road crests, is 5% chance increased.
So 20. Yeah,
So it's 50,
that's a
25
nice
at the very
thing,
end.
but
You
you're not
don't
going to
need it.
use. Yeah, she doesn't. That might as well not exist. Just these between Mascara and Casa di Fantasmi, she changes how the game works. Because once again, the definition of what is a one-turn fight has changed. I think you can do this in like the Belial solo fight now. She like murders the hell out of Gilbert. Yeah.
Hmm. I mean, she's not the one murdering the person.
She allows the main character to murder the crap out of Gilbert.
Yeah, going through like other like characters that have the a self first off. Mostly
hmm
these are self assassins.
hmm
The ones that last more than a turn, they're really good. I mean, less the entire turn. I'm sorry, the entire turn.
Yeah, because it's like the ones that last the entire turn that I can think of are Narmea
Narmaya.
and Mireille and Rosette. Those are the ones I can think of off the top of my head.
So there's actually a larger cast of that, by the way.
Okay.
One is Fire Noise,
Oh yeah, that's right. He actually gets used.
Wellness,
Oh yeah, Wilderness.
Gwyn,
Oh, right. Gwyn's nuts.
Anre is one of them with Fleeting Spark.
Oh yeah. That's right. I keep forgetting about that because it has stopped being a part of his kit that matters in the Gwyn era.
Muriel Rosette. There's actually a lot of Earth ones. Ayer, Shadala, Threo. Ironically, Summerjin.
Right.
Shinobu, with
But
insect breathing.
a lot of those, like the trade has often been that you have a low multiplier on the attack boost. And so, for example, um, when Grand Jean gives everybody a cap up and the assassin cap break, she has a very very small attack up attached to it. And so when you do attack with Jean, if you are not already mega charged by a character like Nehan, Nehan will come up again in this conversation, then it's actually kind of sad. You're just like, oh, I did about 100k extra damage per attack. But the numbers that people are putting out with actual Nehan, like she has replaced Jean, and well, Mugen has replaced Jean. She replaced Valhalla Melina as the ideal Nehan like short team composition. And yeah, you're doing like
Uh,
close to 5 million a swing before chasers.
the other thing is Jean only lasts for one hit.
Hmm.
The
So
ones
yeah,
that the ones I listed were all more for
one
the entire
turn.
turn,
Yeah, and I know the
and also all of those were self. And then Florence came around. Did you
hmm.
know that Sarah has one?
Chat told me.
Yeah, I didn't know that because she doesn't attack hard or often.
Hmm. The full turn assassins are usually a minimum of 50%, including Florence's. Yeah, the thing is that yeah, like they're also for yourself, and so you have to set someone else up. This one you just, whew, whew.
You just throw that on MC.
Hmm. But yeah, do you want to talk to the newest partner in crime also?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they were doing, man. They didn't. They put out this character too at the same time.
So I know what they were. They knew what they were doing with Mugen because a lot of these things are specifically meant to copy and feed off of Nehan abilities. So they put Mugen in Nehan's element,
Yep, light.
and so the easiest things to look at are um, surprise practice, bonus light damage effect to light allies who have had a hit to max HP of either 30% or more. And the
So for
numbers
each thirty
scale, I
percent,
believe, yeah.
you get 20% chaser.
So up to 60% when you're down to 10% of your starting health.
That is the lowest your health can go because of changes a while back.
Because of Azuraga, very specifically.
Correct.
Um, and so you hit a Nehan button, and your entire team gets this 20% chaser. And then you hit the Florence button, and whoever does that gets another 20% on top of that, up to 40%. So yeah, it gets really, the numbers get extraordinarily big. And then the rest of this kit is still good. Like, I mean, his CA heals everyone, sure.
That's cool.
He has substitute for a specific character, so this is the keep Nehan alive button.
They will die.
So dark damage reduction, and then dark switch. It only happens once because it's permanent.
Yep. He is best friends with that person forever.
And he already has hostility up, and when he does take damage, he does 6 hits of light damage, which, if you have a Nehan harp, that does a lot of boosted damage.
If you have a Harmonia.
Yeah. And hey, he's even harp. Sure, why not? Anyway, then there's Song of Sweetmeats, the standard long ass cooldown. So all right, it is how on his own he hits the 30% hit to target allies max HP. So he himself can turn this on. Nehan also turns it on. So you hit those 3 buttons and your MC is down to 10% max HP and swinging with 60% chaser now and amplified attack damage. I don't think this stacks with the amped from Relic Buster. I'd have to look it up. But you get cap up and crit to help you take advantage of that cap up and light attack up. And it's a long cooldown, but it lasts 5 turns. And with
It's a
Mugen on your team,
status, so I think it does actually.
oh, I see.
The thing is additive.
Oh,
Usually with those type of things,
so it doesn't stack with Vikings amped
because
attack.
those are also that's the same type of
Yeah, the same type. But
It's a
you're
buff.
using Relic Buster with this character too, and then um, he also does a sub all. Does he sub all? Hold on.
No, he only subs to that one
He only
person.
subs that one person. He does a regular. He has the regular permanent sub. Um, he gives himself crit 3 times undying and cap up
Oh, you're looking at Tricky Constitution.
tricky con.
All right, 100% chance of 300% damage
Okay.
and 50% damage cap up.
Okay. This is his equivalent of a cap up for himself. But the main thing is that pressing very few buttons, he supercharges once again your MC. Attack rate, attack cap up, um, amplified damage, like 60% chaser on turn 1 you have access to if you want to. It's wild. It's wild. Oh, these two characters have moved the bar to the point where it's just like it's wild. I don't know what else to say.
Good luck racing if you're a racer, but I ain't gonna, because I have neither.
We have not raced in a while. Like I am a full auto gamer for my gold bricks. I get less gold bricks than other people who dedicatedly farm for these and like do the blitz raid combos for their 1.6 million and dip out in under like 20 seconds. I can't do that life.
I do like his weapon.
Oh yeah, his weapon is under the barbell clause where it's like keep an eye out on this space because it's
Small Majesty, small HP. What you can do with that? Maybe Medium Majesty, yeah. But that's still a lot of HP.
yeah, it's a lot of HP. But yeah, that's the barbell special.
Oh, I've actually read the effects of the CA. It's random which one happens, by the way.
Is it the list? Is it the same list as Mugen?
Let's see here. The list is 30% meter.
Okay, yeah, that's one.
DATA up for all allies for 2 turns after.
That's one of Mugen's permanent effects on fire.
30% chaser for 2 turns after.
I believe that's also permanent for Fire Mugen. Okay.
And the rare effect is all of them activate.
Ah, I see.
It's pretty good. That's a pretty fun CA on that weapon.
It
Just
is, but
roll
the
the die,
problem
roll the
is that
dice, and they're all good.
it's a light harp, and so the competition is pretty fierce because we've got ourselves.
I mean, if you don't need delay, this
Sometimes
is
you don't need
great.
delay. You're right. You're right. You're right. When you're right, you're right.
Sometimes we're not fighting Belial every day.
Yeah, like Blue in chat's like, I need to get more gold bricks, but I'm not doing this. Yeah, it is. It is for the people who are that one panel from the fighting game manga where it's like the speed of light is too slow for us. It's like I am not a frame shaver on that level. I do not have the straight
I don't know
out
the
ping.
patience.
Yeah, I don't have the ping or the patience. Well, I do have the patience. I have the patience.
I mean, you're 325, aren't you?
I am ranked 325. Yeah, but that's totally different from that in this. Like,
Meanwhile, Florence's weapon is like, maybe it'll get good if it gets a 4-star.
mhm. All right. Are we done talking about light for a while?
Uh, we'll find out. It depends on how ticked off I am later in
Okay.
life.
Oh, we're down to 29 members. We'll have to figure out who our 30th is for next month. Anyway, next up. So we've got Lich. Halloween Lich. My
This
girl.
character's cool.
This is my girl.
I can't believe you've been tricked into liking no.
I've been kidding. It's Stockholm Syndrome, DJ. Every time I go back to freaking Mori no Kunikara, it's 7 minutes of just me sitting there going, what happened?
She's telling a story in the song.
She's telling an entire ass story of how she's gone off to the forest and is picking apples, and a bug fell on her head, but she's doing okay.
She's gonna be a DJ soon. Oh, she's not the DJ of the group.
She's the
That's
vocalist.
Michiru.
And she's
Yeah.
also an assault lily. And yeah, we were talking about this. Her VA is very busy in idol content, which is a topic of her Granblue TV channel appearance, where she's just like, yeah, she's an assault lily. She's now in D4 DJ. She was announced for that like an hour before the show, basically. She's a Cinderella girl and a horse girl. So She is the idol walker. All of their strengths, none of their weaknesses. Anyway,
Let's talk about this character.
let's talk about this character.
This character is Lich, normal Lich, really good. Always a staple of my Lark teams. This one, if I got her, a staple of my win teams for me.
But in a different way. So, the Dark Lich changed the game by basically CAing every turn and always delaying and just like having all of these different. She's just this big pile of utility while also doing crazy mega damage with her end of turn nuke. This one does less damage, but and there's a but here. All right,
There's
so
a
let's.
big butt there.
I don't know. She's kind of got a little butt. I mean,
We're not talking about this.
oh, sorry. Anyway, so we've got we're gonna start with her passives because passives are where Dark Grand Lich really took off. So at the end of the turn, when Lich's charge bar is 50% or higher, she eats her meter to deal wind damage. So it's the opposite of her other one where she gains 50 meter. She actually spends 30 meter, and then she gets her delay that way instead of CAing for her delay.
You know, that's fine.
And it does a nuke.
You want to go to the creepy knight now?
Let's go to Creepy Knight. So wind allies gain these effects in order based on how many they have, how many debuffs they have. So the first debuff is convert some turn-based damage to HP recovery. That's the standard effect that she gives everybody with her dark skill. All right. Then she gives them charge meter up.
20%.
So 20% boost to charge bar gain. So yeah, all right. Boost to attack.
20% perpetuity.
And then for the fourth debuff, it is boost to damage cap.
10%.
10% damage cap up for pressing Razzing Corruption here.
Yeah, you get all 4 debuffs on yourself and the enemy.
Yeah. So, like, you heal yourself for 1,000 every turn. She also notably does not have the downside of her dark version where she cannot be potioned.
Oh yeah, that's true.
There's play undead over here, but that's different. We'll get to that last.
That button.
And then, so we have Haunting Spectre as her last button. I'm calling Kirsten Spooky a mode. So Haunting Spectre, it's a 6-hit nuke, sure.
8 cooldown.
It dispels.
Yep, that's good.
And it's minus attack, minus defense, stackable.
10% up to 40, the usual. And also, depending on how many debuffs you have, there's more hits, so it can go up to 10 hits.
Which is 4 debuffs.
4
weird.
Debuffs.
What a strange number to choose. So it's 10 hits in an element that has Ewiar's Beak, just like it is over in Dark in an element that has Agonize. And then her CA gives her 20% of her meter back and a 1 turn hit to skill cooldowns. This is actually
that part is from her old one.
Yeah, the 24. It's 24 meter with her her creepy knight at full strength. And then we get to Kirsten Spooky. So she stops attacking.
Normal attacking. She still CAs.
Yes. She gets 24 meter a turn. And then casts Haunting Spectre for
just every turn. Haunting Spectre.
Every turn dispel. Every turn deal 10 hits of damage. Every turn get 24 meter instead of attacking. So
it's practically dark.
Yeah. So she gains 24 meter, then she loses 30. So, given how much meter she's giving the rest of your team, she's getting to CA a lot. Like a lot.
You could CA loop with this very easily.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if she's spending the 30, she's going like -6.
Yeah. So you just put her last, as opposed to Lich, who you put early.
Yeah.
Yeah, this character is all of the utility, given that she, yeah. Wait.
Yeah, if you're doing CA looping, you'll have Kirsten Spooky up. Sometimes before your Play Undead's done.
Yeah. And then, so yeah, between the Ghost Parade, she delays almost every turn, sometimes every turn. She dispels every turn. She has a bunch of debuffs that auto recast and refresh themselves. She
She has
has,
a debuff.
yeah, she has 4 debuffs for the debuff count before you hit Haunting Spectre. So she has 6 debuffs for debuff count here. Yeah,
Yeah, this character's good.
this character's really good. She's really good, like really, really
Literally
good.
5 turns of casting a D spell.
Let's go, Lich. That's my little gremlin.
Ah, Bone Bee.
Honestly, considering Sharo ticketing, I was thinking about it too. I was just like, all right, well, we'll see how rolls go. But then I got the character. Yay! I'm spared for now. We'll see what happens. So my big plan to spark on New Year's is still intact, thanks
Mm-hmm.
to just scheduling out all the many giveaways that GBF does.
Things to note is that Creepy Knight does not stack with Neon.
Which part of
The,
it?
the passive, 150 passive.
Right. So that's, let's see, the damage cap up
It's that
and
part. It's just that part.
just that part. Okay. Because the other parts that are relevant for Neon passive are the permanent dispel cancel, which she doesn't have, but it's totally fine.
Yeah, you don't have buffs on this character. You have debuffs that you want to keep.
Hmm.
I do like how for once the very first line of you need a certain number of X or Y.
Hmm.
That is the debuff one is the converts the type of turn damage to HP recovery.
Hmm.
I really hate having to dig through my debuffs and try and get clear off a slashed.
So here's also a thing that is another synergy with characters in her element.
Is it Katse?
It is our boy Katse. Before, if you didn't own Summer Belial, then it was not that easy to get a debuff on your own characters for Katse's backline passive that people forget about.
It's like 50% attack up.
It's a lot of attack
It's pretty
for
good. I'm using that right now.
for Judgment Reversed. And then when you have Katse in back and Lich exists on the front line, you just get passive 50% attack up. You're like, okay, I accept. I accept.
You know, my back line is literally Katse and Vayne.
Hmm.
It's wild.
Yeah, I do not have a vein in my back line, but that's fine. I don't take wind to hard content that often. All right.
It's a good
That
doggo.
that covers a bunch of the topics that we wanted to cover. So we were talking about the ability to race, and one of the things that has unlocked is that they listened to feedback on the HTTPS selection, like update, slowing things down, and they have done the Guilty Gear Strive thing and lowered the number of handshakes that you need to do with the server when specifically you're on HTTPS. And the result of this is that right now
Speed.
on HTTPS, the game is actually faster than it was on old HTTP for me.
Speed.
So, like, if you can still switch back to old HTTP, I actually accidentally do this whenever I type in the URL of the game because it defaults to the old HTTP, and it is noticeably slower to go through menus. And then if I do that same sequence with HTTPS on, it's just that much faster. So let's go back to HTTPS, go to Quest, we go to Raid. That's like half of the time. It's wild. They did
Meanwhile,
the
over
thing
here
that
on
should have been
NDAP,
there
nothing
from the start.
changed.
I mean,
It just became faster.
that's the thing is that, like, given that this is a what is it, server side, I forget what the actual term is, but it is the server has is the source of truth and not the client. Then there's a lot of things that the server has to send back as instructions of what to display. Like if you dig into the code and you press attack, it actually tells the server tells the game what to animate and what numbers to change and things like that. But and none of the animations and things like that are stored client side, which is how the game works the way it does and doesn't take up some like 800 gigabytes or something like that just of voice and
Princess
music.
Connect.
Yeah, Princess Connect or FGO, right? FGO has whenever there's a new story segment that comes out, it's like 20 gigs or something. Not actually
Oh,
that much, but it's huge.
you should see what happens on Valentine's when they actually have voiced lines.
Yeah, and you download every single one of them, right?
You download every single one of them that you're reading.
Yeah. And so these are conscious trade-offs that they made in the past. Like it's the decisions of 8 years ago, and also the technology of 8 years ago. And then they have made a conscious choice to reduce that amount of communication with the server. But yeah, this is a huge, huge boon to those of us who are not within like 50 kilometers of the data center. So I am immensely happy with what happened there. Um, it took a and you use AndApp to play, right?
Yep.
And as soon as this went through, did you notice the improvement?
I full auto, so nope.
I mean, even just going through menus, it's noticeable in AndApp. Like Almond and John, two of our crewmates, they were just like, "This is faster than it's ever been," and John is closer to the server than we are. But yeah,
Look, I already have to look at I have to look at time speeds on in my normal job. I don't want to look at it in my games.
I mean that's fair. So anyway, the last thing to talk about, I think, is just rerun stuff, which normally we don't talk about reruns because, I mean, it's a rerun. But they did do
However,
a couple of cool things with the most recent stuff. So let's go to the Savior of Dalmor is underway from the 14th. So there is new stuff in the treasure trade shop because they note this is something that they did previously when they added 30,000 Arca points to the shop. They're like, all right, people stopped farming reruns, and so these things are empty. All right, the new method to get people to farm this and give people something easy to do. There's a new intricacy ring. There's earrings. There's halos. There's feathers and fragments in the rerun shop now. The intricacy ring is kind of whatever. The earrings are kind of whatever. They're nice for having overflow stuff. The halos are something that people really, really hate not being able to get the right one of. So being able to
I bought those.
being able to click a button and buy the halo of your choice for a very low cost is welcome. The pinions, I mean, sure.
They're okay.
The wasteland.
I don't host mine half the time. I usually just join raids.
Yeah, the fragments are fine. The Wispy Spirit set is enormous.
Thank you. I have not fought those the race for getting those items in the first place in a long time.
Some of them are solo quests now.
Yeah, exactly. I totally forgot.
I had 0 before it started. I only host a lot of these Wispy Spirit, the Bright Spirit
zero cost.
during 0 cost. Yeah, I don't host Grand Order. I don't host what is it? Is Ultimate Bahamut for the other one?
It's Ultimate Bahamut.
Regular Ultimate Bahamut, yeah. And it's just like, look, I'm okay with you just giving me one of these a month. This is fine. The co-op
like the Elemental Crystal variety set because I'm like because of NES series I don't need to fight for those anymore. They just came naturally.
Yeah. And then the co-op treasure set is basically like, I think this one is based on them looking at the number of people who just aren't willing to go into co-op to upgrade their villa.
To be fair, that's a lot of co-op items that I never had.
Yeah.
Because, I sold them.
Yeah. And so this is one of those, they're like, yeah, people don't do co-op anymore. Let's just keep adding these in because, it was what, 300 of them to build your villa?
It was a lot.
No, it wasn't your villa. It's 300 of them to build the main road. I think it was. For the latest thing on the resort island. But yeah. And then they lowered the cost of all of these things. They're just like, yeah, this isn't worth it anymore. The extra SSR summon, the extra SSR weapons, they're all the same cost now. You can just buy them in bulk, and you buy them for the cheap rate the entire time. So, positive, lower grinding, and alternate grinding methods of getting stuff that you need now, and people just shouldn't have to go back into super old content in order to farm. So good. Bravo. Good change.
Yep, I like it.
I think that's it for this week, right? We're done?
Wait, there's one thing we forgot to talk about, Dom.
What is it?
Toothache and suffering.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about that weapon.
That's a very important weapon to talk about.
Yeah. All right. So toothache and suffering. Let's. I think there was a good meme that I saw that it's PPAP, and it combines, what is it? It's Schrodinger and pain and suffering,
It does. Yes, it is.
but not all of them. Not all the super mega broken parts of each of them. However, it's
I
enough of
mean,
them.
supplemental wind damage. Well, now CA damage is pretty high on that bar.
Yeah, and so all right, let's go take a look at the suffering. So it's in under this. It's under wind. Totally forgot because I had the bookmark to my version of Lich in order to just show the numbers at a more accurate point. All right, let's see. Halloween Lich, Halloween Lich. Nope, wrong white shrouded one. Hey, there's OER. There she is. All
So
right.
we've seen these grids, by the way, of 5 Schrodinger grids and other elements.
Yes. Yes.
Because the thing is that Schrodinger has a thing that allows him to increase the attack values and, increase what's it called, the multiplier on a normal attack, right?
The other thing is that Awakening doesn't care what element you are.
Exactly.
So it has a very high Awakening number as well. So this one is missing the Awakening part. However, it brings the following things in. It has Axe's Wrath, which, the thing is that I made fun of it before. It does matter when it is element non-specific. So, with like 2 or 3 of these or whatever, you get a decent amount.
But then there's Axis Voltage, too.
Yeah. There's Axe Voltage.
And those two go on the same EX modifier.
Mm-hmm.
So you before you need with Axis Voltage or Voltage 2 in general, you needed 2 Voltage 2 weapons and 3 other matching weapons in order to cap out.
Right.
Here you only need 2 because you have the Axis Wrath as well.
Mm-hmm. And then Tranquility's quenching. This is the first time that Wind has gotten quenching, right?
It's
even
the first time they even got any
even
supplemental CA
supplement, right? Yeah. One of our resident Wind players has been complaining. It's like, where is my supplemental on CA? I'm like, it's right. We have supplemental on CA.
It's Aephod.
It's Seaphon's passive. He's like, that's 100k. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, you're right, but I'm right too.
So now we get 1 million if you get 2 of these and you stay high health.
Yeah, where is this one? It's boost wind LCA specs? No, it's supplement wind LCA damage over here at the very. It's hidden. It's hidden over here because it's in there with the faded chain effect.
The more important effects.
Yeah. 100k supplemental is one of those things where you're like, I don't notice it. Given how much damage your average CA does with Seaphon on your team, you're just like, I'm slamming into the hard cap.
You notice it in any Ed fight. Like, slightly.
True. Those don't have the special cap. Something about the H-Lich weapon specific skill loadout bugs me. I mean, given what we've gotten before, this thing is essentially it is the version of pain and suffering that Wind gets when it already has beaks. And so they're like, we already have supplemental, but it's only on skill, notably. It does not on just
good, though.
everything, which is still really good. And so, like, here, have your CA supplement weapon. But yeah,
I'm just mad it's tied to a limited weapon.
Also true. Given that the other quenching is on a very, very farmable weapon on a high drop rate.
Yeah. There's also one that's not a very high drop rate that in Sandbox for light.
Yeah, the harp.
Yeah. That also has harsh voltage.
Yeah. The persistence over here is basically there to mimic the other parts of this. But yeah, so 3 raw axes and toothache and suffering is pretty good. That's why I have
Oh,
that's why I have
or you run
3
two and just have an act. I don't know what other
ultimate
weapon you can
axe
combine.
or yeah.
Actually, you don't no because you don't need 5 axes anymore. You only
Oh,
need
that's right,
4.
because of the wrath, and they're on the same multiplier.
Yeah.
So it's just 2 raw axes and this thing.
Yep, and then whatever you need. I think one of the builds that one of our crewmates was talking about was two Narmaya
As in
katanas.
instances. Oh,
Yeah,
hey, I do
because
have.
that'll stack you to 100 supplemental normal damage.
That's right. I remember now. I got 5 stars of Fierce this summer because, um, I when I was sparking for Summer Vikala, the game just kept throwing wind at me. I remember now.
It's a sign, Dom.
No, I ain't doing it. I might do it for
I saw
Lich.
the
I
sign.
might do it for Lich. I don't know. I don't know yet.
It's very powerful. At least one of your weapons you already farmed out.
The raw axes,
No,
the Indra bows.
for Lich specifically.
Oh, okay. Jeez.
To be fair, Saifon also uses that because he has a lot of hits.
Mhm. Anyway, so that is now it for this week. Thanks for reminding me that we didn't even talk about toothache and suffering because we were still busy being mad about light. But you know what? Given given the area of the game where we exist, we'll just let it go through. Just let it pass. It helps people murder our Proto Bahamut raids and our Akasha raids and
Mhm.
our Grand Order raids. Like, just people pile into these things as light relic busters now. Previously, it was like what? It was Dark Luchador or something like that, or it was dark, but it was actually wind, stuff like
Yeah,
that. And it's like,
yeah. So you can have that increased cap.
yeah, new. It's basically the next evolution of a meta that just continues to only matter if you are very specifically trying to farm as many gold bricks in a small amount of time as possible.
You know what? To each their own.
To each their own. I'm not gonna.
I'm just gonna go here, do my daily Bahamut raid, and then call it a day there.
Yeah, for me, it's um, my daily PBHL and my daily GOHL, which I can do because I have a bunch of horns from the last time that we had free Grand Orders, and when those run out, I will stop hosting that thing because I don't like hosting Grand Order unless it's free. All right, actually,
Free's good.
speaking of free though, there is actually a last thing. Last thing, I
No,
forgot
what is
about
it?
this. So Halloween exclusive quest.
Oh yeah, that thing drops a lot of candy or macarons.
So the thing about this is that if you haven't done it yet, you should probably. So the thing about these is that they are energy positive. They're AP positive until you get to the 200th one, and
It's like the normal campaign quest,
it's the
except
normal campaign quest.
without
Yeah,
the 50% boost to your EXP and RP.
yeah. But what it does is it lets you stock that that XP for later. So uh, this
Piece of candy.
particular one, I have stocked up 4,500 XP for a future character, and I can just keep doing this. I have a 450 now, and yeah. So if you are so inclined, you can just do this on the side, and
I mean, with this, it helps you get your weekly quest done.
also true. Although, yeah, this one in particular didn't quite matter as much for getting that weekly done because of
The
Savior
rerun
of
events,
Dalmor.
but that's going
But
away in 10 hours or
that
so.
yeah, that's going away in 10 hours, and so once Sunday comes and that resets the week, we won't have that. We will have Proving Grounds, and Proving Grounds does not count towards Special Quest. So
Proving grounds is proving grounds.
yeah, up until the 300th time, you are generally AP positive because
Yep.
you get 5 runs, and if any of those 5 runs drops at least one half pot, then you are now neutral for those 5, and you get another 5. And so
Yeah.
the thing is that
I'm actually running out of pots. I'm at 800.
yeah, I'm at 2,700 right now. Whenever I choose to go down, they all get sunk into sandbox. But yeah, like it is super useful to have that around. So you might not want to let this one pass by. Like it's pretty easy to let the campaign exclusive quest uh, fly by because you're just like, I'll do the ones that are free, and then after that, like the rewards aren't that good for me anymore. Like there's, some prisms, I guess. This one, you're just like, oh, it's XP for later.
For
And
me, it's XP right now.
who are you leveling at the moment? Which
Stay
transcend?
upon because
Ah,
because because Siegfried might be coming soon,
yep, that's fair. Because let's
and
see.
watch them say that Siegfried is like Mugen and has no omens.
hmm so the next thing, yeah. So I have 450 macarons right now. Almost all of them came from the Halloween exclusive quest, and that is essentially one gold spellbook right now. And I still have, another like couple hundred to go before this thing becomes very slightly AP negative or AP neutral. So yeah, if you haven't done this yet, you got 10 days, and it helps you finish your weekly, and it's pretty easy. It's really easy. So yeah, there's that.
Mine's a semi-auto.
Yeah, mine is also a semi-auto. I just throw a bunch of triple attackers with chaser at it.
Yep, because it behaves the same way as the other one,
hmm Which is why I didn't even
but this time
change.
it's light. It's
Yeah, I
a
didn't
light
even
favorite instead of
change my
dark
team.
favorite.
All right. So anyway, now I think we finally covered everything. Like I
I
said,
think we exhausted all topics.
for a light week, this has been a pretty pretty eventful week for
This
just from the
this
character
episode
releases.
went on like 58 minutes,
Yeah.
so
So next week will be probably a lot lighter. We'll have the awakenings for Blau and Windhose, which are eventful. Windhose is a nice weapon. Um, and Blau will probably see play uh, when like it benefits definitely Astariola, and so Astariola is lurking, going, "Hey, would you like to turn my 4 million nuke into like a 6 million nuke? I know you would."
yeah, I'm making mine special.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it probably another Blau.
Yeah. So anyway, now we're done. We're done. We have next week probably the luminous weapons might be in, but they might not be in. I can't remember when those are coming out. We'll talk about them later. Whenever there's that, we probably won't.
Read the Halloween stories, guys.
Halloween Story was really good.
Oh no, I'm scared.
I'm so scared. You suck at
Cringe.
acting. Co-uncap will most likely be toward the end of the month. I don't think they'll have it by this nut time next week. We don't know. We'll find out.
Until then, though.
Till then, thanks for joining us. See you tomorrow for the article that's going up on the Grand Cipher with the interview that with us, and also another interview with us. We're going to be doing an Ask Me Anything on Reddit. We'll link to it from our Twitter. It'll be interesting. I'm wondering what Reddit will ask me. I don't know. I saw one question which is just like, so how do you get all these interviews with KMR? And it's like, we ask politely.
Surprise.
That's the answer. We ask politely and he says yes. I mean, there's a lot more behind him saying yes, I'm sure, but that's the back and forth on my end. It's like we ask and he says okay. So anyway, I'll see you. Thanks again for joining me, DJ. Let's watch Akiba Maid War.
What? We're gonna do it without Daryl?
We're gonna do it again when Daryl gets back. He's at Climax of Night, or at least he's on his way to Climax of Night.
First, let me go get some cookies.
Yeah, go get your food, man. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Happy 300 episodes, Granblue Radio.
Oh, also in the middle of this radio, I got 2 raw axes. I'm happy.
Nice. Yeah, I wasn't going to talk about that, but the thing is that over the past 24 hours, I actually farmed for my 3rd raw axe.
Sick.
And I'm just like, okay, now we have 3, and I can probably use that to 0 button, 0 chain, unite and fight EX plus, which actually matters now that our ping is a lot faster.
Yep.
Actually, our
All
ping
right.
is not changed. The number